creators of Relevant Magazine. This is the Relevant Podcast.
Every usual road's got a sign, and every boy uses the same line. I pledge allegiance to everything now. And every song that I've ever heard is playing at the same time. It's absurd, and it reminds me of everything now. We'll turn the speakers up till they break, 'cause every time you smile it's a fake. Stop pretending you got everything now. I need it, I want it, I can't live without it, I can't live without it.
It's the week of Friday, August 11th, 2017, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and this week's show is brought to you by HelloFresh, the meal kit delivery service that makes cooking more fun so you can focus on the whole experience, not just the final plate. Each week, HelloFresh creates new delicious recipes with step-by-step instructions designed to take around 30 minutes for everyone from novices to seasoned home cooks, short on time. If the goal is 30 minutes, my experience having cooked HelloFresh 2 to 3 times a week for the last 4 or 5 months is I'm a slow cook because I'm a solid 45 minutes. I'm just saying.
Cameron, we've discussed this before, and I think it's not the experts at HelloFresh. I think you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, because
can I ask you something about your stove?
Yes.
Does it require you to actually chop down a tree and find wood kindling to burn and then and then heat up for a while? Because I think they're expecting modern kitchen equipment.
No,
I think that could be the
it's
issue
not that. The thing is what it is you put the thing on the thing to simmer, and then while that's simmering, you prep this next step.
No,
I don't do that. I wait for I go literally number 1, number 2, number 3, and I'm not looking ahead to get going on the next thing, and that's the problem, and that wastes my time.
No, I'm going to disagree with everything. Here's the problem.
Okay,
you've got your TV on.
Yeah,
you've got your 100%. Phone in your left hand. You got Cohen coming home and he's wanting to build a NASA rocket. You're approving, you're looking at, you have hang up things about Relevant on the wall that you're putting X's through and saying yes and no.
That's true.
And then with your spare quarter of a brain that you've got left, you're making a HelloFresh in 32 minutes and then whining about it on the podcast. I think if you just dialed in a little bit, I think you have the capacity to do it in 20 minutes.
And then I can't speed up the oven. I can't make it just by paying attention to it.
Cameron, I have news for you.
Yeah.
You can speed up the oven.
We've talked about this
you just
before.
got to turn it a little bit higher. I think the problem is you're just going at low heat for some reason, which I think, even though HelloFresh makes a great product, to avoid foodborne illnesses, you're going to need to get that baby over 120 degrees. Because if you're cooking on that, I think I know why it's taking you 2 hours.
Well, and we've talked about this before, Jesse, and nobody can disprove our point. Right? 300 degrees, 20 minutes. 600 degrees, 10 minutes. Literally, it works every time.
Simple math, and never preheat.
HelloFresh employs 2 full-time registered dietitians on staff who review each recipe to ensure it's nutritionally balanced, and they deliver the food to your doorstep in a recyclable, insulated box for free. It's great. I love it. I've even gotten my picky 7-year-old who only would eat pizza and chicken nuggets, basically. Eating the full range of the HelloFresh menu. I'm telling you, it's delicious.
Unfortunately, he has to wait 6 hours because Daddy's got to finish his Rubik's Cube.
He was honestly late for bed by a solid amount of time the night before school started because we were cooking together, and it took a solid hour.
Yeah, you were having a moment and experience. I think right now I'm nervous that they won't sponsor the show again because of what you've said. So I just want to say
it can be done in around 30 minutes.
Most people can.
Yeah.
This is your problem.
Yeah,
Respectfully.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's my fault. I don't look ahead. I don't manage. I don't multitask in the kitchen well. I don't have that experience. But I'm saying the meal always ends up great.
Yeah.
It just ends up usually a little bit later than I expect.
And at the front of the show, I don't want to bury this. You mentioned that the date today is August 11th, which means that tomorrow is my half birthday. I will be turning 37 and a half.
I will be taking the next 2 weeks off, obviously, and just celebrating.
My big half birthday, you guys.
Hey, right now, HelloFresh is offering Relevant Podcast listeners a special offer. You can get $30 off your first week of deliveries by visiting HelloFresh.com and entering offer code RELEVANT30 when you subscribe. Go do it. HelloFresh.
$1 off for every minute over it takes you to do a normal meal.
Like I said, I'm your host, Cameron. Here with me in our Orlando studios, Eddie Big Cat Koffel.
Yes, here I am. It's good to see you.
Back from Brooklyn.
No, I've never been. No, I went to Brooklyn.
Over there on the ones and twos, our illustrious producer, my brother, is a little crappy this morning, Chandler Strang.
Hello. There were some big buttons today that he had to mash that got difficult for him. I know he's got frustrated with his little teal
Chandler,
shirt on.
hey, Chandler, one day, dude, just let it all out on the air, okay? Look, if there's one thing I know about broadcasting is that the drama equals ratings. Okay,
it's the Bill O'Reilly.
That's why when you watch reality TV, people end up throwing dishes of pasta at each other's faces. I'm not saying it needs to go to that level, but if someday we just need to have it out between you and Eddie, people are gonna love it. That's why people tune in. That's what brings the people in. They want the drama. You know what they say on reality TV? They say, I didn't come here to make friends, and they just have it out. You and Eddie, mano a mano. Mic on mic. Oh, gather the crowd.
It would look really cool.
This is Mayweather. What's his name?
McGregor.
Nice. You kind of tapered off there at the end, but it would just be me and Chandler each on a computer with Pro Tools open.
You were a counselor. I mean, I think what we observed this morning with his frustration, how he handled it was stuff it down, which means one day he's going to break all the dishes.
Well, the bigger problem is the first thing you do in counseling is you make sure that people have like health and shelter and let's say like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The real problem that Chandler is having this morning is that it's 90 degrees out. It's extremely hot and he's wearing a teal sweatshirt for no apparent reason. It's like sometimes
the studio gets a little chilly.
He's just hot. He's like a little kid. It's just like, just give him a
nap. Well, I think he needs a nap too and a snack.
A kind bar and a little nappy, and then we'll have him back. He's going to be fine. And then we'll get to the deeper issues with you-know-who.
You guys, I'm dialed in to where Chandler's at right now, and you're pushing him to the edge, guys. All right, he's going to go Scaramucci on us.
Right.
82nd now. It's going to be in the papers. It's going to be a big, there's going to be multiple firings. None of our jobs might survive just because of what you guys are doing to my friend Chandler right now, and I don't appreciate it.
Eddie, I have a different idea. I have no training in counseling, but if I did, I would take the opposite approach. I would make sure both subjects are physically extremely uncomfortable.
Right.
It would be sweltering in there, and they would be wearing garbage bag wrestling suits like they're cutting weight. I would also ensure that they haven't eaten in a while, and I would have a pointy stick that I'm repeatedly poking them with while asking questions. I'm just trying to heighten the degree of agitation because in my theory, that's the only way you're going to get to the real truth. Just make sure they're as agitated as possible when it's time for them to speak their deepest, darkest secrets.
You got to wonder how Sweet Dana is even a part of this whole charade anymore. But we love her, and good luck, Jesse.
Over there on the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello.
And joining us from Nashville, Tyler Huckabee.
Hey, guys.
Now, you might be thinking we've been rotating that fourth seat all summer long. Every week it's a different person. Tyler was on last week. He's on back-to-back. What in the world?
Yeah.
It's because Jesse, Tyler, and I were in Chicago this past weekend for Lollapalooza.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about Lala.
Now, Tyler, has a brand, and apparently he's known for his interest in comic books, and apparently that interest has now defined his wardrobe as well. And at Lala, every day he wore different superhero outfits.
Yeah,
and all the nerds would come up to him because apparently he was wearing obscure superheroes things, and all the nerds would be like, "Hey man, love the shirt, yeah," and they like high five him and stuff.
I take issue with that because I don't know if you noticed this. Maybe Jesse, maybe you noticed this. I really feel like it was the coolest people at Lollapalooza who kept coming up to me, like the god tier, upper, the 1% of the highest possible models. Celebrities, star actors. Obviously, the bands would point it out from the crowds. And I think that there's just a little bit of jealousy coming on from Cameron. And Cameron, I'd be happy to go buy you some obscure superhero shirts if you wanted to join me in this tier of style that I found myself in, of high fashion.
I went into a comic book store for the first time with my son like a month ago.
Right, because he's a kid.
Right, and he found the kids section and stuff.
Right.
He was the only kid.
Which is the whole store.
He was the only kid in the store. It was all of Tyler's peers milling around on a Saturday afternoon, and it was an interesting cross section of society that I didn't know, frankly, existed.
I can say this. I witnessed a lot of these fist bumps that Tyler was receiving. It was 100% male and 100% real life versions of the comic book guy on The Simpsons. and can I be honest? I'm not entirely sure it wasn't the same guy, just being real creepy and following Tyler around the whole festival.
Tyler,
if I'm going to be honest with you,
Tyler, what's your signature shirt that's just like, oh, this one's gonna just smoke?
That really brings all the boys to the yard. When I really want to turn it up to 11.
I guess so.
Sure.
Yeah,
shirt.
cool.
Oh man, I could never. I mean, come on. Like, Eddie, who's your favorite child? You can't play this sort of game.
Chandler.
There's no. I don't play favorites with the shirt. The shirts play favorites with me. A different one chooses me every morning. I wear it out, and you know what? Every day I go out there and I win.
We have a great show coming up for you today. Coming up later, Jesus Culture joins us. Their album "Love Has a Name."
What is it?
They're gonna you'll find out later on the show today.
I have a guess.
Stay tuned.
What's your guess?
Just Ronnie. Kevin.
Love Has a Name. It's their new album, and they're going to walk us through it coming up later on the show. Also, and then after that, at the other end of the spectrum, we have a screenwriter. Gary Dauberman is joining us. He is the writer behind this weekend's movie Annabelle Creation and the upcoming movie The Nun, which is part of the Conjuring universe. There's like he's a horror movie screenwriter.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, horror, not horror movie.
Nice and slow.
Yeah. Horror.
Every time
I'm not familiar with his early work, so maybe.
Could be.
Anyway, he's coming up later. What's fascinating, I'm not a horror fan. I'm enunciating very carefully on that one. I'm not a horror fan, but these movies are fascinating from a Christian perspective because so many of them are based on true stories that are around like Christian figures and priests and nuns and demon possession and stuff. And the movies aren't known for gore or anything like that. It's like kind of depicting things that actually happened, and these screenwriters are bringing these kind of true stories to the big screen. And Gary Dauberman is a fascinating figure. So it's coming up later.
He's also like a rising figure in Hollywood. He's the one adapting It, the Stephen King movie, which is already looking like it's going to be a big blockbuster. Next summer.
He's adapting what? Sorry,
Stephen King's It.
Stephen King's what?
I think this is a joke.
I can do this bit all day until I get it.
Who's on first?
Hi-yo!
Who's on first? No, who's on first?
We got to get out.
So there's two things that I want to cover before we get to In Case You Missed It. Now, last week on the show, I saw some Twitter feedback of people giving tips to other listeners on Twitter, like, hey, by the way, fast forward 28 minutes in if you want to listen to In Case You Missed It, because we did a lot before we got to In Case You Missed It. This week, I have two things I want to cover before we get to In Case You Missed It. I'm just giving you a heads up now. First things first, I want to tell you about Lolla.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's coming up.
Right.
But before that, I got you something, Eddie.
Oh my gosh, I hope it's not some nerdy comic book shirt.
No, it's nerdier.
You should be so
on
lucky.
Twitter last week, I saw a tweet where they were like, a couple weeks ago, your favorite band had a boat ride, the DC Talk
Dave
Cruise.
Matthews. Oh, yeah.
The DC Talk Cruise happened. And apparently, they didn't sell out the merch table.
Yeah, they definitely sold
That
out,
doesn't
but
make
not the merch
sense.
table.
So they were selling leftover cruise paraphernalia.
How it's shocking that they
And
had some.
I got you something.
Oh no! I'll put this right next to my album. Oh no!
I got you a DC Talk Captain's Truckers hat.
What a terrible!
And I got
awful
myself
thing.
a matching one. So we have matching DC Talk Captain's Trucker hats. Oh, and I thought
this is my favorite hat ever. Well, this is quite a gift.
Supporting the crew.
For those of you that can't see it, and I'm sure that it will be all over our Instagram pretty quickly, because this is certainly the nicest thing anyone's ever given me. And I've got a wedding ring on. This is still nicer. It is a black trucker's hat with the
Captain's epaulets or something.
The epaulets, the little scrambled egg things on the brim.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
with a rope, a gold rope, and then a gold embroidered DC Talk logo.
Did you have to like break the $9 threshold in order to get free shipping, and that's why you got 2 of them? Because I can't imagine.
No, I bought one so we could have matching hats.
I'm just saying, they're probably giving it away.
Hey, Eddie, if you go to Lollapalooza with us next year, you and Cameron are both going to want to wear those hats around together.
I will.
And you might be stalked by the same psycho that was following Tyler around all weekend.
My question is, first of all, thank you for the nice
You're
gift.
welcome.
That's a great one.
You're
It
welcome.
will go nicely next to the. I have some of the best DC Talk stuff from you. Where's the album?
Oh yeah.
Do I have the gold, not the gold plated
You took
silver?
it? The
No,
platinum?
it's here. I assume it's being
the
displayed.
platinum, the double platinum display, the congratulations, Jesus Frequent double platinum given to Lifeway Christian stores. I bought it at the Goodwill auction.
One of the greatest gifts I've ever been given, and I am assuming it'll make its way into the new
It's a
building.
new studio, of course.
Like, is a pretty prominent,
absolutely.
or my office. I don't know where it's going to. My office in the new studio. Or I don't know.
I received a very kind, one of the coolest gifts I've ever gotten, not just from podcast fans, is from Joshua Hernandez, who wrote me a very nice note that included. It is an autographed deck of signature David Blaine deck of cards.
No way. That's actually pretty
Yes, absolutely.
That's sick.
It is so freaking cool. So David Blaine, when he does his tricks, you guys will notice he has his own signature set of cards. He doesn't just use, the ones you buy at the drugstore. He's got his own. They're really high quality, and it has a really creepy David Blaine eye on the front. And it was autographed. He's got a story about how he got these autographed for me from David Blaine himself. I slept with these beside the bed last night.
Did you feel a weird presence?
I was visited by David Blaine. One visitation comes with every deck of cards. It was pretty cool. He's right now encased in a block of ice underneath my bed, and I don't know how to get him out of here. But I was very appreciative of it.
If you look at David Blaine's Instagram from a year ago, there's a picture of him wearing a DC Talk hat and listening to the relevant podcast and saying, "Enjoy the cards." It's pretty incredible.
It's a good trick.
Wow. It's a pretty shocking and stunning. Hey, Jesse, can I ask you a question that seems beside the point, but how'd they get your address?
Oh, they sent it to the office, and the office sent it to me.
Okay, because I was like, I don't even have your address.
They asked David Blaine when he was autographing the cards. They said, "This is going to a guy named Jesse Carey," and David Blaine, without batting, didn't even blink because he never blinks.
Right.
Told them my address to where to send it. It showed up. It was a pretty cool trick. I don't know how he does it.
Doesn't it all take away from the mystery of the trick that he uses his own deck?
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, all right, that's a deck full of aces of hearts.
I have it here. It seems pretty standard.
There you go. Hey, so we were in Chicago this past weekend, Lollapalooza 2017. I lost count. It was either my 10th or my 11th trip to Lollapalooza. And it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tyler was there Thursday. I came on Friday morning. Jesse's flight was canceled, and he didn't get there till Saturday morning. But we killed it on Friday. The guys go to interview bands. I get a photo pass. I shoot.
Nice Arcade Fire picture.
Oh, thanks.
What'd you shoot that with?
Our camera.
Oh, like a
Canon Mark III with L series glass.
All of a sudden, it's like Andy Barron's not such a big deal. Like.
Anybody can do it. You just point a camera toward a person and hit the button.
It seems so easy, Andy.
No, I actually shot a ton of stuff. Those are the only ones I posted. I'll post the rest of them. It was really some cool stuff. It was neat.
Great.
But what we do, the reason why we go, number one, is because Lolla is a great way. I like cheat sheets. I hate going to shows. So it's like in 3 days, I can see 180 bands. I can see the biggest bands that I love. I can discover new bands and new stuff. And then we get a ton of interviews and a ton of content. Typically every year we do a little recap about our experience. I thought it'd be cool to have Tyler back on so we could talk about it today. I'll tell you some of the highlights and play some clips maybe for you guys. It was weird for me, Tyler. I don't know. Tyler was there, and he was just on Friday. I barely saw him because he was doing double the interviews because Jesse's flight was canceled, and so he was just haggard. But so I was kind of milling around on my own, and it was this weirdest. I had this weird experience where I had this like Groundhog Day thing on Friday where it was like Phanogram and The Killers and bands that I've literally seen at Lollapalooza more than once, and then the layout's the same and the signs are the same and the vendors are the same. And I'm kind of going, man, I've just like been here, done this so many times. It's like, this isn't a new fun experience anymore. And I was like, man, I don't want to live life like that. So on Saturday and Sunday, I made it a point to only see bands I'd never seen before.
Oh, fine.
Other than Arcade Fire. And it became an amazing experience. And I discovered so many new artists and stuff. So it was really great. Guys, what were your highlights or takeaways from the trip?
Well, I'll tell you guys, first off, that Thursday night, you didn't miss a whole lot on Thursday. As you probably saw, there was a big rainstorm. I was at the Lord's headline set, and then 3 songs in or so, they had to evacuate because there was a big thunderstorm going on. And that started a long journey of like self-discovery and sort of a Mad Max type situation where we were all leaving together and fighting for food and water, and everybody started dressing up in rags of whatever animals they killed along the way. And that was sort of a low probably of Lala.
That happened 2 years ago, but not at night.
Oh,
it happened in like the afternoon.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And they literally, because at night it was like they evacuated like toward the end. People were kind of expecting to leave after Lord anyway and go home. And they just shut it down. We got evacuated like early afternoon 2 years ago, and then like it reopened afterwards. So you couldn't like leave. All of a sudden 200,000 people just had to like go into downtown Chicago during like a torrential storm, and there was nowhere for anybody to go.
No,
it was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like the swarm of people just overtook downtown Chicago in the middle of a storm.
Did you guys have like a hotel that was close enough, or you were just sort of in it?
Yeah. We did, but I mean that lobby was like an airport. You know, it was crazy. We just went up to our rooms, but. It was, it was nuts. Like Chicago's weather is usually really nice in the summers, but when they get a storm, they get a storm.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest of the weekend was great. It was really nice from there on out. We had really good weather for Lollapalooza.
I think all of us could probably start with what was the best performance, which was Chance's homecoming show, which headlined Saturday? That was Saturday night, right?
Saturday night. Here's a clip of Chance the Rapper at Lollapalooza this past weekend.
Are you ready for Get low like this. Are you ready? Get low. Come on.
There you go. Now, okay, so it was a great show.
Yeah.
But I think what was most memorable about Chance the Rapper's hometown show was not the show.
It was.
Would you all agree?
Was it the crowd? Are you saying it's
the crowd experience?
Okay, let me preface this because Cameron really wanted, because this was a big deal. This was like, okay, Chance had this huge year. He won Grammys. He's one of the biggest names in music in general. And Chicago is his hometown. He went to school like blocks away from Grant Park, where Lollapalooza is. This is his homecoming. This is his moment. So I think I've tried to get in Cameron's head a little here. He decided he wanted to be up close. He wanted to really soak it in. Get the experience. So Tyler and I
wanted to be close as well.
Yeah, Tyler and I had just seen Chance in this year and in an arena, and we thought, man, no. We need to go and suck the marrow out of this experience. We need to be close and have a different experience than what we had sitting in our nice arena seats.
And Tyler had like he had like a question for him ready, and he was like, he wanted to get close enough that he could like yellow.
I wanted him to see my Captain America shirt. I think he would appreciate it.
Chance, what was your favorite part of Arkham Asylum from the Batman series?
Something you should know about Lala is every night the headliners, they have 2 headliners going on opposite ends of the park. You know, it's about 2 miles from each other.
That seems hard. But they
split the crowd. So they'll do like The Cure, and then they'll do like a really cool band, or they'll do like Mumford and Sons and a cool band. Like they'll do like
Cure Burn.
They'll like do an old and a new, and they split the crowd, or they'll do rock and hip hop. You know, they'll like split the crowd. The XX was the other headliner. Not big enough to split the crowd. I feel bad for the XX.
I went over there. The crowd was just the couple of the XX parents.
Yeah.
So literally all of Lollapalooza was on this one half trying to see Chance, and that created a situation that in my 11 years I've never seen before. Even Radiohead.
They definitely split the crowd incorrectly for that.
That's what I'm saying.
Not even close. Even XX is great, and it'd be cool to see him, but like comparatively,
no.
He owns his own.
Even if you're a huge XX fan, you want to see Chance's homecoming show.
The only way to split him would have been like Arcade Fire or something where you genuinely like, okay,
I don't know. You kind of maybe go to half and half.
Yeah. But what the situation amounted to was Tyler and I finally made our way to Cameron, and Cameron has figured out the only way to survive because of this situation, our lives. It is so tight in there. You cannot, you literally cannot move. Like, it's hard to breathe. It's outside, and you felt like the air was restricted. So Cameron begins befriending these like 19, 20-year-olds that are surrounding him, who are all we're pretty confident on various illicit substances to enjoy the show.
Because these young people were on these alleged substances, they were very talky and friendly. I'm standing there minding my own business. They're chatting me up.
Yeah.
And they're like, wanting to get to know me. What's your name? Where do you go to school? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm a full-grown adult.
Why would you ever want to get to know somebody?
I'm a full-grown adult. I go, I'm 41 years old. I don't go to school. I have a job. And then they're like, what?
And why are we talking?
Yeah.
Just watch the show.
Well, it is before the show started.
Watch the announcements.
But the
watch
thing
them
is,
set up.
God,
do anything.
These kids, they're super friendly, and they're like offering you the things that they have enjoyed partaking in. They're like, hey, you want some of this stuff? And then I'm like, no, thank you. And then all of a sudden they're like, why is this 41-year-old who's not having a good time, quote unquote, hanging out? They're like, is he an undercover cop? I mean, that's I think
when I showed up, I alerted everyone. We got a cop here. Everyone, right here, this guy's cop. Cop. Be cool. Yeah.
So Tyler and Jesse show
Pass me another one of those cookies.
Okay, so the crowd is like, you can't move, but nobody's necessarily touching you when the show starts.
Okay.
Show starts, and all of a sudden, 100,000 people surge forward. Your body is lifted, and you are moved 20 feet up. Okay. Oof. Then later in the show, it happened again. Like it even like separated us. Like the crowd surged. At that point, you are literally on all four sides of your body, pressed flesh to flesh with other people. Like we've been standing for 2 hours at this point, sweaty, dancing. They're up and down, just like moving, and they're all on you.
Humans are the worst.
Can I tell you what my move right there? Tyler at that point looked at me and he said, "This is how we die. This is it. This is how we go." So what I did, have you guys seen Dunkirk?
Yeah.
It was like Dunkirk at that point.
Yeah.
Survival, the chances were slim to none. Yeah. I saw a train of girls that had like grabbed each other's shoulders, like shoulder to shoulder, and were going to try to like snake their way out, just like linking arms. And that I was like, I'm jumping on the back of that train of girls, and I'm going to get out of here. And it was like one of those rescue boats on Dunkirk. I had to kick Tyler off of it. I had to use my foot, put it on his chest, and push him back into the crowd. I couldn't have a chance of him pulling me back in. It was every man for himself, and I'm not ashamed of what I did.
And Chandler, little edit note, can we make sure that the clip at the end of the show is Jesse saying, I wanted to jump on that train of girls?
Yeah. Can we also please cut in our interview with from the Greatest Generation who was actually at Dunkirk being attacked by the Germans, and how it relates to this guy who had been eating, pot-laced gummy bears in Lollapalooza.
And we both looked death in the face.
Yeah. It's almost exactly like Dunkirk.
But the show itself didn't disappoint. It was amazing. Terrible crowd experience, but it was my low and my high was that one concert.
Yeah.
But the show was remarkable.
We were divided on Francis the Lights coming out to join Chance to do May I Have This Dance. Cameron and I both really liked the fact that they brought their viral choreography from the music video to the stage and performed it beautifully.
Yeah.
It was like a ballet performance.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Francis and the Lights has a song where Chance has a remix of a song where Chance does a guest verse.
Here's a clip of Francis and the Lights. May I have this dance with Chance the Rapper.
May I have this dance? Can I say something crazy? I love you. Give me both your hands. Let me stand beside you. You've got your mother's eyes. You've got your grandmother's ring. You've got your daddy's discernment.
There you go. So the big surprise hometown show, right toward the end of the show, brings out his friend, Francis and the Lights, and they do that, which was just a mesmerizing video, and they kind of reenacted it on stage. And then he hung out for a couple more songs, which is super cool.
Yeah, but
Jesse
if you've
was
seen the
not
video,
a fan.
they do a choreographed dance. And my thing is like, it's great in like the cinematography of like a music video that's well crafted, well lit. When it's just two guys up there who aren't dancers doing a choreographed dance like on this giant stage that clearly neither of them, if you looked at their face, wanted to do. Like they were just like, okay, just get through the steps and get to the last verse. I felt like that was it made it so awkward. But I will say this: at that point, I was standing comfortably on a hill. My life was no longer in danger, so I was thinking rationally. Unlike Tyler and Cameron, who knew what they were witnessing could be the last thing that they see before all goes dark.
We were just enjoying it.
This is how we go.
This is it. Soak it in.
It's so beautiful.
What did other than Chance? What stood out to you guys? For me, it was actually for the first time in a decade, hip hop had a real presence at Lollapalooza this year.
For sure.
They always have done like a token thing. You might get a Kanye, you might get a Nas, you might get a whatever, but that's it. Like 2 artists, that's it. Nothing out of 200 bands, you know, it's not representative of the impact that it has in the music scene this year, especially Sunday.
Yeah.
It was like, I literally was on the North stages and saw hip hop back to back from 2:00 through until Arcade Fire at 8:30. It was like 21 Savage, Migos, Ray Shremmerd, Joey, I can't say his name, Big Sean. And then they even had the OVO stuff. They had Magic Jordan. They had Sampha on the alt R&B. It was like, I love this music. It was crazy. So I was in the photo pits. I was shooting these artists. I mean, it was nuts. I mean, it was wild. Even Christian rapper NF played at Lollapalooza this year.
Yeah.
Who went on tour with Flory and all that. Had a good crowd. He did a great job.
Amen.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was a big year for hip hop. I also felt like that, for the last couple of years, like EDM has sort of like infiltrated all genres. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's just kind of like a trend. But this year I felt like guitar rock kind of made a little bit of a comeback. I mean, it's always been there, but a lot of the real guitar driven bands were bands that have been around. Like I remember like 2 years ago, I saw like Brand New, or a few years ago it was Bleachers, which is now more like synth pop. But I felt like a couple of, like I saw Mount Joy, who is sort of like folky, psychedelic, like jam band style rock. A cool British band called Blossoms.
Actually, here's a clip of the Blossoms. They were a standout. They were fantastic. Here's the Blossoms.
Then I'd go back and show my love. A heart attack, I'm told I should have known. No more nights alone, so cold. Let's go back the streets.
We had never heard of the Blossoms, but you were going to be interviewing them, so we wanted to check out their show. And they were playing the main stage in the afternoon, and they were phenomenal. But it's funny, it's the first they kept introducing themselves to the crowd, because the crowd like was small at the beginning, and then they were playing, so people were drawn by what they were hearing, and like the crowd got bigger and bigger, and so like they introduced themselves throughout the show, because nobody knows the Blossoms, and they were great. They're going to be a breakout band.
Oh, for sure. But I just kind of I love like that genre of like more like stripped down kind of rock and roll. And it seemed like that had more of a presence this year than I can remember in the last like 4 years.
It was a good show. And then obviously it ended this year with Arcade Fire. I'll say this. Live experiences rarely change your opinion of art and music, in the sense that I've always loved Arcade Fire. My most kind of memorable concert I've ever been to was Arcade Fire. Mm-hmm. They are just untouchable in my mind. And then their new album came out, Everything Now, and it just didn't connect with me. I just didn't really like it, right? And then we saw them live, and they played a lot of the new music.
Funny.
And it changed my opinion of the music. The next morning traveling back home, I just listened to it nonstop all day Monday.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece, and it's probably one of their best albums.
Now, do you think that's because it takes you back to like being in the energy in the moment? You're with your friends, and it's like,
no. I think I experienced the music differently than just hitting play and just sits in the background. I wasn't paying attention to it.
Trying to do your fresh box, whatever.
Right. You're immersed in what the experience of that song.
Yeah, I know.
And so, I mean, it changes the impact that song had on you, and so then when you hear it again, you hear it differently.
Yeah.
But I'm like entranced with the new album, and I didn't like it at all when I first heard it. Mm-hmm. And it is that performance changed.
I find that they do that a lot. Like it's just like you put on Apple Music, you're like, oh, this is new, and then you're driving to work and thinking of stuff. But it's like to really listen to, like put on headphones or something and focus.
It's dripping with Christian content.
Oh yeah.
And, I mean, dripping with it.
Yeah.
And the trajectory that it takes you on from a narrative, and like even how the music flows, and it's like incredibly deep and also danceable. It's just this weird thing that you have, it's art. You have to consider it. Yeah. And the live performance kind of grabbed my attention in that way. And in that sense, their concert was significant to me. It maybe wasn't that moment in time of 2012. It was different. And that's awesome to see that a band can evolve, and they're not just kind of like the Killers doing the same old concert for 10 years, you know?
Burn. Hot Killers burn.
They were there too.
The Cure and the Killers have really, really been burned by you pretty hard this show.
They're never going to recover from that.
No.
But it is interesting because everything now, the new Arcade Fire album, has like these kind of like disco influences, which I feel like was a genre that was built to be experienced live, not recorded. Yeah. And so that the fact that hearing the music as it was intended can change your opinion of it. So that's all the more reason to go try to catch them out on the road this year.
Here's a clip of Arcade Fire headlining the final night of Lollapalooza. There you go.
The one other thing that I like to do, I'm sure you guys do, is there's the small stage is on the side called the BMI stage. It might change from year to year, but either way, it's where they kind of like new bands that haven't really developed a big following play, but like Lady Gaga, like her first big show was there. Like they've been known to kind of break some artists. A few years ago, like Lainey. That's where we kind of like sort of discovered them for the first time.
Haim played that stage.
Haim played that stage, yeah.
Yeah, Haim, who's huge now. So I always like to look at that lineup and kind of circle some bands that I checked out on Spotify to see who I think could be big. There was a band called Floor, Flor, that played, and they play this sort of like cool indie synth pop that I think they could be potentially a band we'll hear a lot about in the next few years, it was cool to catch them on the upswing.
Here's a clip. There you go, Floor. Tyler, did you experience or kind of discover anybody like that?
I think my biggest discovery, I like you guys, I was really into Blossoms. I think they're gonna, I think they're gonna / hope they do really well, because I'm excited whenever anybody's able to find a kind of a fresh spin on guitar rock that doesn't feel like they're just retreading stuff, that doesn't feel like nostalgic throwback, but feels like a way to bring rock forward into the 2017, and I feel like they're doing that really well. I'm also really into Mondo Cosmo. Did you guys catch that? I can't remember if you guys were there for Mondo Cosmo.
I was there, and on Monday morning downloaded their album. Same thing. It came out this past weekend.
Really good.
Here is a little bit of Mondo Cosmo.
My friends are so alone and it breaks my heart. My friends don't understand, we all are lost. Shine down the light on them and show a path. I promise you they will return if you take them back.
That's cool. The one thing that one last thing I want to say before we move on is, Maggie Rogers was on our March cover. We saw her at South by Southwest doing a showcase in March, and I was there that afternoon. I think Tyler or Jesse, you were there, and it was a Universal showcase. There was several artists back to back, Japanese House and some others, and Maggie comes out and she had a 5-song set. She was headlining this little showcase, so 5 songs, and she only had a 4-song EP. And you could tell she hadn't really performed at all because she was out of breath by song 3. And she did a great job, and the songs are great, but she was clearly terrified. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To see her at Lollapalooza play a main stage and have an hour-long set only 6 months later. It was unbelievable.
That's awesome.
She crushed it. And she's been playing international festivals. She's been touring the world. And to see her evolution as a performer,
that's cool.
Lets me know for sure she's got the chops and she's going to make it. Her next album, she's going to continue to ascend. And I think we'll look back at kind of us grabbing Maggie early and say, that she's one of the real ones who makes a career out of this thing and becomes massive.
Yeah.
She owned the main stage at Lollapalooza. It was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Here is DC Talk.
Here's Maggie Rogers at Lollapalooza this year. There you go. All right, well, that's it. That's it for our Lollapalooza recap. It was a lot of fun, as it always is. Hey, thanks to all the podcast listeners who found me. I probably got approached by 13 different podcast listeners over the course of Saturday and Sunday when I was at my hip hop shows, and
that's cool.
I was very aware of setting a good example for them.
Wild. We think we hang out in this clubhouse and just send an MP3 into the ether, and it's like actual people hear it.
Several of them were at the NF show, not shockingly,
they had to.
Like I turned around and there was kind of a line of people kind of waiting for
the youth van drops them off right in front
of NF. Yeah. but I did run into one at the Lil Yachty show. It was well, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? But it was a lot of fun talking to you guys. Everybody was super cool. Nobody was wearing dorky comic book shirts or anything like that.
Yeah. Only one guy.
Not true. Just not true.
All right, well, moving the show along. It's time for our weekly look back at what happened in culture and entertainment. It's time for
In Case You Missed It.
Hey, in case you missed it, LaDainian Tomlinson's Hall of Fame speech was a powerful call for racial unity this week. The NFL superstar ended his speech with a story about his great-great-great-grandfather, George, who was brought to the U.S. as a slave and given the name Tomlinson. He said, "The family legacy that began in such a cruel way has given birth to generations of successful, caring Tomlinsons. I firmly believe that God chose me to bring two races together under one last name, Tomlinson." He went on to encourage his fans to seek unity and healing for everyone and make America welcoming to people around the world. Here is a clip of his speech.
America is the land of opportunity. Let's not slam the door on those who may look or sound different from us. Rather, let's open it wide for those who believe in themselves, that anything is possible, and are willing to compete and take whatever risk necessary to work hard to succeed. I'm being inducted into the Hall of Fame because my athletic ability created an opportunity for me to excel in the sport I love. When we open the door for others to compete, we fulfill the promise of one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Come on.
Man, I watched that whole speech. Chills. No joke. LT was like the coolest football player.
Yeah, and most of the speeches are like, "I'd like to thank my coach and my family," and then he gets up and starts preaching.
Oh man, and the fact that it's LT, who's on the field, who's known for like an on the field demeanor that's cool, like cool as a cucumber, never talks trash, just like a real mellow dude. For him to get up there and give this passionate speech about unity and racial reconciliation and alluding to like the immigration crisis and refugees, it was a powerful moment. And he brought everyone at the Football Hall of Fame to their feet. It was if you haven't seen seen the whole thing, you go online. You go to relevantmagazine.com and watch it.
Yeah, in case you missed it, oh boy. Remember a couple weeks ago, I brought the hard-hitting news that PureFlix, the studio
came out swinging.
PureFlix came out with, or announced that they're going to be doing a Christian soap opera. They're still at it, folks. PureFlix has now made the first Christian sitcom. So this is the team behind God's Not Dead, The Case for Christ, and of course the Christian soap opera Hilton Head Island. Well, they've released several clips from their new sitcom. Here's the name. Hitting the Brakes. According to the trailer, it's about a former race car driver who moves his family to Colorado and will apparently feature appearances by Carrot Top, Rob Schneider, and yes, Tim Tebow. The entire season just dropped on the PureFlix website.
I watched all of the clips. I'm tempted. This is real talk, man. I am tempted to subscribe to PureFlix to binge this whole thing, man.
I'm sure they're gonna give you a season pass so that we can.
I've already got like interview. Yeah, I've already been contacted by PureFlix, but I kind of want to observe it not as like a journalist, not as someone in the media. I want to observe it just as a human being because that's how this should be watched and seen.
Every sentence that you said in describing it, from PureFlix all the way down to Tim Tebow, my already just bottomed out interest plummeted just a little bit deeper, burrowed beneath the sun. Like you kept thinking I could not hate this more, and then
can I say that the outlier to a degree we can all agree is Rob Schneider. What's he doing in this?
Rob Schneider, they didn't pay him more than $250. But hey, he'll say yes to anything if there's a check involved. That's what I concluded.
You're painting Rob Schneider like Carl Weathers in Arrested Development, where he's going to the craft services table and filling his pocket to go make a stew when he gets home.
Hey, in case you missed it, the Clooneys are set to send 3,000 Syrian refugees to school. The Clooney Foundation for Justice is going to partner with UNICEF to donate $2.25 million to public schools in Lebanon. That'll cover the cost of educating around 3,000 refugee children, including textbooks, registration fees, and teacher salaries. School space in Lebanon is incredibly limited, which I've seen firsthand. I've been there and visited some of the schools. A lot of the refugee children, one of the big crises that's happening, have been there. They've been refugees in Lebanon from Syria for upwards of 5 years. Well, this is the formative elementary years. They're largely uneducated because Lebanese schools are overcrowded, maxed out. They couldn't take the refugee children in. Yeah. And so, Muslim, some mosques schools are bringing some of the children in and some other religious institutions, but largely there's a generation of Syrian children that are going uneducated. So this is a huge crisis, and it's amazing to see them supporting this. So since school space in Lebanon is so limited, they usually operate on a 2-shift system. One set of students, like Lebanese natives, attend in the morning, and then another set, the refugees, go in the afternoon.
Pretty clever.
The Clooney's donation will allow 7 schools to stay open for a second shift, meaning thousands of refugees will be able to attend schools that wouldn't otherwise be able to stay open for the second shift. In a statement, Amal and George said, quote, "Thousands of young Syrian refugees are at risk, the risk of never being a productive part of society. Formal education can help change that. That's our goal with this initiative. We don't want to lose an entire generation because they had the bad luck of being born in the wrong place at the wrong time."
Neat.
It's a crisis. I mean, talking about, if the war or violence in Syria was to end, it will take 10 years or more to rebuild any sense of infrastructure so the displaced families could even return back to their homeland, right? So if this child is, and they've, a lot of them have been displaced, like I said, for 5 years, the ones we met. Yeah. So let's say they were 3 years old, when they were displaced. Now they're 8. Let's say the war ended tomorrow and they wanted to go back home. It's 10 years before there's even a school in Syria to take them. So now they're 18 and completely uneducated. The scary thing about what's happening is the next generation, the generation that's going to lead Syria in the next 20 and 30 years is largely uneducated. This is a massive thing that's happening in Lebanon, and what the Clooneys are doing is making a real difference.
Education really is the silver bullet, and lack of education is
the silver
often
bullet.
Leads to radicalization.
Absolutely.
And so it's a very big deal that they're doing that.
Right, absolutely. This is more than just they got displaced. It's like there's a generation of children coming up that need a future, and that's huge.
Yeah.
Also on ER, you ever see that show? I liked him on that show.
That was as inappropriate as my Dunkirk. Probably more. You can do the apology tomorrow.
Did a short stint on Give Me a Break too. One of my favorite shows from the 80s.
He did.
He was on the Batman franchise.
He was on the one with all the girls. What was that?
Oh yes, no, you're right. It wasn't Give Me a Break. It was Facts of Life.
Facts of Life.
You're right. Yeah. I was totally wrong.
George and Tootie
and Mrs. Garrett, I believe her name
Mrs.
was.
Garrett. She was awesome.
Joe, Blair.
Joe was the biker chick. She was a little rough.
There's no way on earth Blair doesn't show up on this
Lisa Whelchel?
this Pure Flick show.
Yeah.
Can I give one piece of George Clooney trivia that I've gone? You guys know me. I like to go down weird pop culture wormholes sometimes.
We do.
And I had found out that George Clooney is like heavy into basketball. Like his old house, like in like Hollywood, had a full court outside where he would regularly conduct basketball games. I have a friend who works at Warner Brothers and they have like a basketball court there, and said that sometimes George Clooney would just randomly show up to try to get like a pickup game going, you know? So anyway, I was curious about how good at basketball George Clooney was.
Yeah.
And so I started looking for clips online, which there are not very many. I found one that shocked me, absolutely shocked me. Because I'm convinced that he didn't start playing basketball till he was already a Hollywood star, and no one told him. Everyone was afraid to either one, defend him in a game, right? Because it's like when Obama would play basketball at the White House, no one's taking it hard to Obama. He's the president. Yeah. It's the same thing with George Clooney. The people that he's playing with, like if they work at Warner Brothers, George Clooney has the power to make or break their career. Everyone's taking it easy on him, and no one's telling him, George, that is the wackest move I've ever seen. At one point, George Clooney has the ball in the triple threat position,
right?
Which means that he can either pass, dribble, or shoot, right?
Oh boy.
He goes between the legs with the ball without dribbling. Okay, he just literally stands there and puts the ball between his legs, just standing there as if that's a move, and then jacks up a shot. I've never seen anyone. Literally, that's a basketball move I've never seen anyone do, because there is no way that it's effective. It's completely counterproductive. It's like if you don't have the skill to dribble between your legs, it's like what a child would do. I was dumbfounded that he pulled it off in a game, and a little impressed.
And
at the same time.
you can find that same clip using Jesse's search term, George Clooney basketball skins.
He wants to jump on that train.
It's a deep rabbit hole, guys.
You know what George Clooney can do, though?
Anything.
Save the life of thousands of Syrian children.
Yeah, he makes up for that totally whack.
Love has a name.
Yeah. Hey, in case you missed it, One Republic and Tony Cornell performed Hallelujah on GMA this week.
Oh, cool. Never heard that song. Let's hear it again.
Chester Bennington.
Another inappropriate thing. Why don't you just listen, Eddie? Because you're going to feel like a big time jerk.
I mean, I'm sorry I don't mean to make it light a Chester guy, but this song, we got to find a new song.
Well,
Chester guy?
So listen,
name,
Linkin Park
Eddie.
was scheduled to perform on Good Morning America as part of its summer concert series this week.
Tragic.
But tragically, the band's frontman Chester Bennington recently died by committing suicide. So the show instead featured a special moment. One Republic performed Leonard Cohen's classic in tribute to the late singer.
All of that is beautiful.
Yeah.
But wait, Eddie, just wait to the next sentence,
so Chester Bennington sang the song at the recent funeral of Soundgarden frontman Chris Cornell, who also committed suicide.
Yeah.
So that's why they performed it.
We might have to get rid of that part then if I was that awful.
Well,
that's why I was saying, Eddie, please wait.
I think that could be a thing.
Eddie.
Just give it 1 second.
And making the performance even more meaningful was the addition of Chris's teenage daughter, Tony, on vocals.
Oh, gosh.
I
was wrong.
Here's a clip.
Faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to the kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah.
First time I've ever seen Chandler cry.
She's a really good vocalist.
He's just really hot in that sweatshirt.
I'd like to just go ahead and do corrections and apologies now. Yeah. I think it's very sad that he died, and I think it was a very sweet tribute.
But the fact that it was tie into what he performed.
Oh yeah,
for
I was super
Cornell.
messed up. I just didn't know any of that.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, in case you missed it, it's official. CBS is going to kill off the wife on Kevin Can Wait, so Leah Remini can join the cast.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's like new Becky.
I love this. This is the greatest thing that's happened to TV in the last 10 years.
So CBS obviously decided to take the completely ridiculous step of changing TV's most watched new comedy to essentially turn it into a show that aired 20 years ago. So in the show Kevin Can Wait, Kevin James plays blue-collar New York goofball who lives with his wife.
Yeah, UPS driver.
The setup as the King of Kings that aired 9 seasons starting back in 98. The one main difference, other than Kevin James playing technically a different character, is his TV wife. Erin Hayes played the role for the first season of Kevin Can Wait, but Leah Remini played the role on King of Queens. So Remini guest starred in 2 episodes of the new series, and according to producers, it went so well that they've decided to literally kill off the show's current wife and replace her with Remini. The next season takes place 9 months after the wife's death.
Can I ask a question?
Hold on.
Was the lady on the first?
Wait, Eddie. I love it that the producers are like, oh, it's kind of grim if we're just he's like a widow and she kind of steps in. What's the appropriate grieving time that Kevin James is no longer grieving the death of the wife that we featured the entire first season of this incredibly popular show? Should it be like 2 years? They're like, I think he's over in about 9 months. I think he goes back to comedy and laughing at like how many cheese balls he can fit in his mouth at the 9-month mark. That's when things get funny again.
Do we know whether or not he's going to be married to Leah Remini's character in 9 months, or is it?
It's got to be a dating thing.
It's probably going to lead up to that.
Probably the series or season finale will be the wedding or the proposal.
Was the woman who gets killed off? Is she doing a good job in the show?
She did great. She was fine. You've seen her before. She was just kind of a kind of standard sitcom wife character,
like Jill from Home Improvement.
Just fine. She clearly,
it was TV's most watched new comedy. There was no reason to mess with the formula. Like literally, if it had been struggling, then I could see, okay, we need to like pull a rabbit out of the hat and swing for the fences, even if this is insane and ridiculous, Yep. But no, it was doing fine, and she was doing great in the cast. They just decided, why not do something absolutely ridiculous? And I love it. I wish more shows would do insane, unnecessary twists.
Yep.
Right. I think that would like a show that is doing great and is on top. Just decide, hey, we have no reason to do this, but let's make the main character wake up and it's all a dream and he's part of another show that's a different genre. I want to see that happen.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have done something like this with Fresh Prince with Aunt Viv. It could have been like, there's a reason why they changed the character.
Or Becky on Roseanne or any of the...
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to figure that out too, because Roseanne's coming back, but apparently...
Which Becky is going to come back.
Well, but the bigger question is Dan, who's played by John Goodman, I guess it was either overtly or not, said that he had died in the last episode, had a heart attack, but they're like, he's coming back. So either they're just like, gotcha, or it's going to be a throwback or something.
Thankfully, you pulled through.
Because I'm like, you can't bring Roseanne back.
Or like at the funeral, like he's in the casket, open casket, and all of a sudden he raises his hand. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I got a better one.
Yeah.
He's a ghost. Like a friendly, he's like Bill Cosby and Ghost.
So Roseanne,
it's just like, it's just like he haunts, but they know he's there. Like they acknowledge that he's just like a friendly ghost hanging out, and that can lead to a lot of comedy because only members of the family recognize he's a ghost. Oh, yeah. In the meantime, he's pulling hijinks on their behalf.
That's exactly right. Yeah. They can all still see him. He's hanging out at the house. The new family's there. He's kind of pranking the new husband. Yeah, I like it. I think. Ghost Dad.
All right, I've got a pitch for you guys.
Okay.
Reboot that 70s show.
Boom.
Unfortunately, in the off season, Ashton Kutcher's character Kelso has died. They replace him with a new Kelso who is just a chocolate lab. They talk to him the same way that they talk to Ashton Kutcher's character the entire time.
Is he a talking chocolate lab?
He operates in the exact same way that Ashton Kutcher's character operated, that Kelso operated. They bring him in on other little 1970s hijinks. He's just a talking dog the entire time.
But they don't even try to do CGI talking dog. They just do like peanut butter in the mouth with somebody doing words
like
off camera.
They don't have the money for CGI. No, it's just a dog licking his lips.
But they never ever explain it. They never talk about him being a dog. It's like BoJack Horseman.
He was a dog the whole time, evidently.
Yeah.
Hey, in case you missed it, you remember last week we talked about that the WWE has trademarked 3:16. Well, of course, this week, Stephen Colbert had Jesus on to talk about it. Here is a clip.
Oh, yeah, brothers and sisters. Listen up. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. You hear that, Stone Cold? I'm going to walk all over you like water. And go ahead and bring the pain, because whosoever shall smite me on my right cheek, I will turn to you the other. And then I'm going to forgive you. Oh, yeah.
I like how Stephen Colbert's Jesus wrestler is kind of a pirate.
Yeah.
All right, well, that'll do it for In Case You Missed It. Stay tuned. Up next, Slices.
I won't turn away, won't turn away, won't turn away. I won't turn away, won't turn away, won't turn away.
You're listening to No Vacation. The song is Yam Yam. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Arcade Fire with their title track to their new album, Everything Now. Okay, it's time for Slices. What do you have, Jesse?
All right. Well, I'm really interested to hear your guys' take on this because I know, Eddie, you have pretty strong opinions about the Olympic Games, which it was recently announced some new cities, including Los Angeles.
Oh, yes, I'll be there.
Are going to host the Summer Games. So one of the other cities in 2024 that is going to be hosting the Olympic Games is Paris. Now, the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, is considering something that the people in Paris, a new sport
I saw
that
this.
Paris wants to introduce into the Olympic Games. They want to, for the 2024 Games, so not that far down the road, they want to introduce esports to the competition. So countries would have teams of gamers, like people who play video games, be represented among the athletes, and they would take part in some sort of Olympic video game tournament and be awarded medals based on the winning team. Now,
I'm guessing that the team uniforms will be probably just collections of Tyler Huckabee comic book T-shirts.
Burn, nerd.
I've already been recruited. I've turned it down. I'm too busy right now.
Yeah. So, esports, I don't know how much you guys follow this, but they're already going to be in the 2022 Asia Games, which is still a pretty big deal. They're regularly getting televised, and Twitch, the live video game streaming service, rivals YouTube in live streaming. Like, Twitch is a huge deal. All that to say is, like, there are a lot of people around the world who tune in to watch people play video games and to watch these esports tournaments. So, as I know, Eddie, you're probably among the cast, the person with the strongest opinions about the Olympics. What are your guys' take on esports being in the Olympic Games?
Are we talking about somebody sitting there playing Madden?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they play things like Halo or whatever. It's
Hold on.
more
Yeah,
like
a lot of the
competitions.
popular ones are like Overwatch, like essentially like shooter games, like strategy shooter games.
But they fill arenas of spectators.
No, I know.
No lie.
I've been in a restaurant before, and I looked around at all the screens, and I'm like, everything seems sort of the same and different. And you realize it's not a sports bar; it was a esports bar. So there's like football everywhere, but it's all like kids playing home. Jesse, I run it through the filter that you talked about like a month. Do you remember your what is competition filter?
Yeah.
What
is
a sport?
What is a sport? So what is the filter? I forget all the.
So in my opinion, it meets two of the standards. It has to meet all three to be a sport.
Yeah.
So it has to have an objective outcome.
Yes.
Yeah, not subjective. So you're not just like the ribbon twirler is just, it's just judged. That's subjective, right?
Burn.
So, yeah.
The Cure.
The Cure.
It has to be some manner of competition, obviously.
Yeah.
And it has to involve some athletic skill.
I think that there's no. I think listeners helped us clarify that there's an offense and defensive component to it.
No, not necessarily, because foot racing is still considered a sport.
That's right.
Because
that's athletic. Yeah, that's not athletic.
Or like who can throw like a javelin furthest or something. It's still objective and it's still athletic. And it's still a competition.
That's right.
Esports to me doesn't meet the athletic.
Well, hold on, Is hand-eye coordination of your thumbs and your brain, is that any less athletic than throwing a javelin, which is like just your arm and your brain? I mean, I don't know, man.
Like, yes, but
it's a degree. Okay.
If you can do the sport sitting down, it's not a sport. How's that?
Well, yeah, I mean, auto racing.
Oh, auto racing.
But I guess my degree is you're talking about a physical ability versus an athletic ability.
I don't know. Auto racing. That's athletic, but you're sitting down the whole time.
No.
I don't know if the sitting. I don't know if the sitting is the thing. I think it's more of like the degree. Like I feel like for something to be athletic, there has to be some sort of like cardiovascular or like strength component.
Well, hold on.
In order for it to be
the Olympic
athletic.
Games. I mean, it's games. It didn't say the Olympic sports. It's the Olympic Games, and that is a game. Jesse, archery is an Olympic sport that
takes a lot of
skill, but not necessarily athletic. You're not going to sweat or elevate your heart rate.
No, you will. That's the hard thing. Is like you gotta. It is really athletic to
shooting those little pellet guns. I don't know if that. I don't know. I don't think that should be in there.
Yeah, but they got there is athleticism that I think we don't understand.
Okay. Of whether or not you think it belongs, do you think is this something that if this is part of the Olympics, do you guys think it's a good addition in terms of like entertainment value?
No. Because ultimately, the part of the excitement of watching a sport is are they going to make it? Are they going to clear the hurdle? Are they going to fall down? Are they going to be able to do that thing which seems completely impossible? It's not like you want to see people get hurt, but that's the drama of it. This is like, all right, well, if they die, then zeros and ones just get reconfigured, and who cares? It's like nothing is. There's no actual stake to it. I mean, I play Battlefield 1 all the time. My guy dies like every 2 minutes. I don't feel any sort of like, oh, I just died.
I feel like there's an opportunity to like. I think a lot of these other sports that are in the Olympics, it is like stripped down and is purely on the competitor beating the other people.
Yeah.
I feel like with esports, it would be fraught with the opportunity to rig the matches in the sense that if I worked on the development team from EA Sports who made this game, I could give secret advantages to my friend on the US team and corrupt it where he knows how to get X number of points or have invincibility that, like you could rig and cheat easily,
right?
Because this is a programmed thing, and there'd be almost no way it'd be undetectable. It'd be like rigging a casino machine back in the mob days.
I do just want to see like one of Tyler's buddies on a podium standing next to like Serena Williams, being like, "Really?
Oh my God, is that Serena Williams right there? Do you like Wonder Woman?
I got a gold medal for Overwatch."
I'll just say this: I think it is a travesty that esports have made it to the Olympics before one single timber sport has made it into the Olympics.
Great
Have
point.
you guys watched timber sports?
Strongman
Those guys are running on logs, they're chopping them, they're carrying them. That is peak athleticism, and it's practical too. If I'm stuck somewhere with an athlete, well, you can ask me, would I rather be out there with like a sprinter who can run really fast, or if I can get a timber sport pro? I'm taking the timber sport pro all day.
You hanging out with a timber sport pro, you're going to get some serious stories. Like
timber sports, 2020, Los Angeles. Mark my words, we're going to make this happen.
All right, Tyler, what do you have?
Okay, so how do you guys feel? I'm bringing a love story as a slice today. A love story from a different generation, I think, than we're familiar with. This is just going to be kind of a peek behind the curtain at how Generation Y or Z or whatever we're on now is doing romance. So you might remember, guys, a few months ago or weeks ago when the story broke about Josh and Michelle, two now Kent State alums who matched on Tinder. Do you guys know the story? They matched on Tinder.
It was hilarious. Their exchange. It was like they would wait like 5 or 8 months in between messages to each other.
Yeah. They were like America's sweethearts for a couple of days.
They were, the story went viral. So they kept a romance of sort of, I mean, romance maybe isn't quite the right word yet. They kept a conversation, a flirtatious banter going for a number of years, just messaging back and forth every couple of months, always with a new excuse, a new funny excuse about why they hadn't gotten back to each other sooner.
Yeah.
So Tinder hears about this story because she tweets some of the exchange, and Tinder hears about this, and they tweet out, we like you guys' story. Pick the city where you want your first date in, and we'll set it up. Do you guys know where they decided to go?
Well, all I know is like Good Morning America picked this up as well, and they met on Good Morning America one morning. So it would be in New York.
Yeah.
So they met in New York briefly, just for the GMA show, and then Tinder sent them to the destination they had chosen out in Maui, where they spent the weekend. They've been documenting they've been documenting their date on Maui. It seems like they're having a good time from the photograph. This is not a visual slice, but I'm looking at pictures of it. They're two young kids, and they're going on bike rides, and they're sitting in some sort of pool, which looks like with some fancy beverages, it looks like, and things are going pretty well. Now, the question I have for you guys after this, so you've become now this sort of viral thing. You've talked on GMA, and now you spent a weekend in Maui together. Where do you think they're at when they get asked about date number 2?
I bet they haven't spoken to each other and are going to continue the pattern.
That's kind of like the Bachelor sort of thing where they don't talk for 9 months after they film it or something.
Yeah, they're getting married, aren't they, Tyler?
The quote is from Michelle, who is a born star. She knows how to handle the media. Right. The White House should get in touch with her because she knows how to spin this. We're heading back soon, and we don't have any concrete plans yet, but I'm sure our paths will cross once we get there. Not a great sign. And Josh is a little
Josh
he seems
was
a little more optimistic.
Can't wait for date number 2.
Josh is like, I think I found the one.
And he just got friend zoned.
It's like an edited Facebook post, and you look at the early version, and it's like, I love her, and now it's just like, we're figuring it out.
Oh no!
His quote is, "She's so much fun. I know when we get back home, we're going to want to meet up again."
No, is that
I think they're on 2 different pages.
No. Josh,
it's so unfortunate.
I think they're on 2 different pages.
And then he's like, "Why? What'd she tell you?"
And even the photo, I wish you guys could see it. He has this big smile on her face, and she definitely has sort of a "we'll see" look to her. I think Josh is in for sort of a rough letdown if it hasn't already happened. If Josh is listening,
what public humiliation?
We've all been there.
They're like at a chair by the pool, and he looks over, and she's literally on Tinder while they're there. It's like, what? No. Hold on a second.
Josh, poor buddy.
I mean, we haven't all been exactly there. Like we haven't all had this happen in Maui, but we've all been. We know what it's like to be on a different page in terms of a relationship.
I just say avoid the whole thing altogether. Solitude is fine. Just stay at home, cook your HelloFresh, watch your shows. Yeah. You don't need the heartache, Josh. It's all good, buddy.
Yeah.
It beats getting your heart broken on Good Morning America. I'll tell you that.
Man.
That GMA clip was uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was like a weird. They might as well have like side hugged. It was like, okay. I didn't think this was going to escalate to this point, but I guess we're going on vacation together.
You're way taller and ganglier than I thought you were.
I would also. I have a hunch that she knew immediately. She's like, I'll ride the wave, and we'll go down to Maui and stuff. But I purposely wasn't replying for 6 months.
They probably haven't kissed or anything because she knew the moment she met that this wasn't going to go anywhere. She was just like, cool, man. Hey, bro. Hey. I was on a date with a girl one time, and I thought it was a date, and then she threw a bro at me toward the late, and I was like, hey, bro. And I was like,
kiss of death.
Then she goes, you seem. Listen, since we're such good buddies, can I tell you about this guy I'm kind of into?
No. Can I have Chandler's phone number?
So listen, now that we're kind of here hanging, bro. What's up with your brother these days? How's he doing?
It's interesting. I've been eyeing his sweatshirts.
Can I read one more set of quotes from this so-called couple to you guys?
Uncomfortable.
All right. So when Josh was asked what it was like to get to know Michelle better, he says, and this is very sweet, unfortunately, you should hear her talk about her dreams and her passions and her career path. Her determination and perseverance is really rare and just awesome to be a part of. He's already factoring himself into her dreams and passions and career path. When Michelle was asked.
So this interview was done separately. They didn't know what the other one was saying.
Clearly, this is private confessional booth reality.
Yeah, I could see. I want to have kids that are like you kind of moment for Josh. And she says,
her quote is, "On this date, I've learned just about Josh's energy. He's just always excited."
Sometimes too exciting.
Oh, that is uncomfortable.
Josh is always excited. Josh is in for a rocky landing.
Oh, poor Josh.
That's a bummer.
What do you have, Eddie?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have just a simple question, Jesse, and I don't did you ever hear Katie Lang sing it at the Winter Olympics?
No.
Oh, what a touching tribute that was.
Oh no.
Yeah. Right before the esports competition.
I gotta just say, it really was about that song. I feel terrible. A lot of people were affected by his death, and I don't want to make light of it. Jesse, I have just a straight up and down question for you. I feel like you're going to want to dodge it, but right now I want you to picture yourself in a dark room with a spotlight on you. It's pretty warm. I haven't given you any food or water for a couple hours, and I need to ask you a question. Where were you Monday of this week, Jesse?
First off, that sounds just like the beginning to one of my therapy sessions. Get him a little on edge. Are you poking me with a sharp stick at any point?
Jesse, just answer the question. I see you dancing around it. Where were you on Monday during 9 to 5? Where were you?
This Monday, I was traveling back from Chicago on an airplane, and then I spent the rest of the day at my house working.
Interesting. And
I can verify.
And what state do you live in, Jesse?
I live in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
In Arlington, Virginia, a man was seen in a car dressed up as a car seat.
That's amazing.
It was on Monday. He was covered up. No one could see his face. No one could see his arms. And people thought that there was no one driving the car because he had dressed up like the seat itself. People called this in and they finally tracked down the guy, only to find out that he was participating at a study out of Virginia Tech where they were testing out an autonomous car to see how people outside of the car react to seeing no one inside of a car.
Can I say two things real quick,
I'd just like
Eddie?
to know where you were Monday afternoon.
I've signed, let me just say this, I can't say too much, but I signed a non-disclosure agreement. And two, that paid me $25 and free Arby's, so not a bad Monday.
They were using and testing the autonomous vehicle to see how people would react if no one is waving them across, to basically see how pedestrians would react. Would they cross the street in front of a car where no one is there? The guy actually had his hands on the bottom of the wheel, just touching at 6 o'clock. And so he was able to be in control of the car, but he was dressed up as the car seat. So people would glance over and see nobody there. And they were studying it, and they're doing a whole series of experiments basically to get ready for autonomous vehicles. But some guy dressed him up as a car seat and got to drive around Virginia on Monday. And I just got to say, it is nothing more than wildly suspicious that Jesse Carey was home on Monday afternoon and
in a car driving from the airport to his home.
This just goes in the Jesse Carey file. I'm saying there's no chance this.
Does anyone else see the obvious flaw in this study, though? They're testing something that doesn't exist yet, so obviously people are not going to walk in front of a car that has no one. If autonomous cars are a thing, it's that's an autonomous car that doesn't hit pedestrians. It's like saying, I want to see how the world reacts to a robot carrying around a machine gun, because that might be the scenario one day. Well, let me dress up this Virginia Tech student and send him out in the hot road. It's I can test a lot of things that don't exist, and people are probably going to be a little freaked out by it.
This study actually showed, and it confirmed an earlier study, that people are remarkably comfortable with it. So if they see, they'll just walk right in front of this thing. They, and cross the street, they have no idea that it's not just going to jump on the gas and play plow them over, right? All of a sudden.
But that makes me wonder about how good the costume was. Because if people aren't afraid of a car just drifting through an intersection with no one driving, that makes me think that like the head hole or the eyes hole were way too big, and they're like, why is that guy dressed up?
I mean, it just looked like a dude with a trash bag on his head. I mean,
it's like when your dad dressed up as Santa and you had to act as a kid. You're like, oh, hey, Santa.
My dad.
Hey,
well,
Dad.
it's like we've talked about this before, but it's like on Scooby-Doo cartoons where they cut out the eye holes in a painting and act like the people in the house don't notice you standing behind the painting. Like, it's like clear, like, I guess we can go because the guy in the car seats, I can see his face. He's looking right at me and it doesn't appear that he's gunning it. So I don't know why he's in the car seat, but I can see him. I can see directly into his eyes because he's looking at the road.
Two car seat arms at 10 and 2. So
he just itched his nose with an armrest. So I think he's fine.
I wish that was autonomous driving. Like the car's actually arms, like drove it like a human. That would be a good few.
Yeah, it would make you feel a little more comfortable.
So the seat would be like the seat on Pee Wee Herman, basically.
Yeah, Cherry. Yeah, that's how the cars are autonomous. Is that the chair just takes over.
Yeah, or they're autonomous because they just don't care about what you tell them to do. So when you tell them to speed up, they like slow down. They're like, whatever, I'll do what I want.
That's right.
I'm autonomous. Like, you can't tell me what to do.
Cherry had an attitude sometimes.
She totally did.
Yeah.
Don't even get us started on Cherry. Anyhow, Jesse, curious to see where you were on Monday.
All right, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Jesus Culture. You're listening to LP. The song is No Witness. This week's feature interview is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. Creating a site with Squarespace is a simple, intuitive process. You can add and arrange your content and features with a click of a mouse. And Squarespace makes adding a domain to your site simple. If you sign up for a year, you'll receive a custom domain for free. They have beautiful templates, seamless commerce tools, and amazing customer support. We use it. I use it. I love Squarespace. I think you should too. You can start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter offer code RELEVANT to get 10% off your first purchase. Go do it. It's a good deal. Squarespace. Today, August 11th, Jesus Culture releases their brand new live worship album, Love Has a Name. Chris Kilala is one of the group's primary songwriters and singers, and we recently talked to him about the unique approach of taking a single theme throughout the record, being God's love.
What else are they going to write about?
A lot of different things,
but generally, it all
overcoming, hope for the future, heaven.
Well, I think that's great. I still think it all boils down to God's love. Still very proud of him.
There you go.
Still really hard to do.
Chris joins us to walk us through some of the album's standout tracks. Here is Jesus Culture.
Love has a name. Love has a name. Jesus. Love has a name. Love has a name. Jesus.
The album's called Love Has a Name. And I mean, the idea behind that title is simple. That Jesus is the answer to any question. He's the answer to any situation that's in need of a miracle or so that was the idea. The songs obviously all flow. I feel like have a theme that is woven in between all of them. But the overall, when we were trying to come up with a title, that song. Kim leads that song. That title was sort of the one that stuck out. It's like Jesus really is the answer. He's the name above all names. He's the answer to every question. And so, yeah, that's I don't know. That explains the overall theme of the album. There's obviously other songs that maybe push a different subject or theme, but for us as a church and a movement, it felt like that that title was very strategic for where we're at. Strategic in the sense that there are so many names, and that can fight for our attention. Meaning, like, if we're making any name famous, it should be Jesus. Even within a ministry, when we travel and we do nights of worship or whatever, it's like if people don't leave talking about Jesus, then we've missed the mark. And so for us, that's always been our heart. But for us to, as a church, as a movement, it's like we just really want to point people to that simple truth that Jesus is the answer to every question. That Jesus is, he's why we do what we do. Is why we wake up in the morning. And so for us, it just felt like a very simple message that we could wrap the album around. There's a song that I felt like we wrote specifically. I wouldn't say it was a politically motivated song, but it was definitely what is the church doing to model unity and what it looks like to be one. Jesus' prayer was right before he was arrested at Gethsemane was that he was with his disciples and he prayed that they would be made one, like him and the Father are one, and that we would be one. And then he prayed for those who would become believers, that they would be one with each other, but also one with the Father. And so it really is like a sobering prayer, like that was sort of his last charge to his disciples, that they would be unified. And so the song we wrote a song called "Make Us One" that really. It's a declaration, but it also is a prayer. The bridge even goes into a bit of like repentance, like we repent for our pride and our offenses and the walls that we put up, basically. And so, again, not like a politically driven song, but it definitely was something that we're like this everything that's going on in the world. The church needs to be the model of what it looks like to love each other and what it looks like to walk in unity. And there's another song that kind of came out of nowhere. Typically when we're working on an album, we have some people from out of town come in and write with all of our artists. And so there's a bunch of writing going on in different parts of Sacramento during these weeks of getting an album together. But my friend Josh Silverberg, who I've written a lot of songs with, I was talking to him, I was like, we always ask God for, which is good, we always ask God specifically to show up in certain ways, be it a song like Let It Rain or Consuming Fire, and obviously those have, meanings beyond the natural word. But I was like, what if at the end of the day, we just said, God, really, we just want you to show up however you want. And so we wrote this song called However You Want. And it's basically just that simple, like, no matter what it looks like, God, we just want you to come.
Like a fire, like a flood, come however you want, with your power, with your love, come however you want,
There's another one called The Weight of Heaven that's just really fun. I wrote a couple of years ago, and it just kind of didn't land on any of the albums we've done in between this one. And but I tweaked a bridge and showed it to our producer as we had already picked all the songs. I was guys like, remember this chorus? And they're like, what is this song? I was like, I've shown it to you so many times, and no one's been excited about it. But for some reason, in that moment, everybody got super pumped on it.
Let the weight
That was Jesus Culture. Check out their brand new album, Love Has a Name. It's out today.
Feel as lonely as I do. Feel as lonely as I do. Feel as lonely as I do. As I do. Feel as lonely as I do. I do.
You're listening to Purity Ring. The song is Asido or As I Do. I don't know. It's one word. A-S-I-D-O. It's either Asido or I do. As I do. Gary Dauberman is a Hollywood screenwriter who penned the script for Annabelle Creation, which opens this weekend, as well as the upcoming film The Nun, both of which are part of the Conjuring universe. He's also the screenwriter behind the upcoming adaptation of Stephen King's It.
Are you saying nun like N-U-N or N-O-N-E?
No, the N-U-N.
Ooh, even scarier.
It's a true story, and it's...
Yeah.
I was invited to the shoot in Romania this weekend, this summer. I couldn't go, but
me too.
It is terrifying.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's awesome. I don't like being scared.
The Conjuring movies are based on the lives of two real-life Christian paranormal investigators who look at the spiritual roots of strange happenings. The films were originally conceived by two Christian missionary brothers who've been on this podcast, actually, who experienced strange supernatural encounters while doing ministry.
They created the franchise, but now that they're doing like spin-offs, they brought in other kind of Hollywood screenwriters.
I remember listening to that interview.
Like the Conjuring films, Annabelle Creation is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes for its suspenseful take on the genre of horror. What's crazy is these normally horror films are panned critically, and these are not. Here is Gary Dauberman.
We're now 4 or 5 movies into building what I'm hearing being called the Conjuring universe. The Conjuring started out with the story of the Warrens and was, as I understand it, loosely based on real people and real events. As you continue to build this universe out, how much fidelity do you feel you have to some of the source material, and how much freedom do you feel to sort of expand on some of the concepts from the first movie that as you continue to build this universe out?
Yeah, I think the Conjuring movies itself, 1 and 2, they're pretty, from my understanding, pretty true to the tale. I know they took great pains to sort of, Lorraine Warren was involved, and they talked to her about story points and what happened and all that stuff. So those tend to veer more towards the based on true events. As we sort of get, we do the spin-offs and we get further away from the actual what happened, we get to have a little bit more creative freedom with things in the history. So that's kind of how I look at it. I think, it kind of all stems from the trunk of the Conjuring movies, and then these branches, we kind of branch off and sort of, we get to sort of grow in our own way a little bit and not have to be so tied to this happened, exactly how it happened.
There's a lot of skepticism from some people. Some people, it's just a fun movie. Some people really buy into it. They buy the whole story. They see it as more or less a historical movie. Where are you at? Where do you fall on the scale?
I buy into it. I always have. I think on one level I buy into it because it's just more fun to think about it. But also, the reason I gravitate towards things like this, I think, is I'm a big believer in there's that death is not an end, but it's just a paragraph break or something. So for me, like these sort of supernatural movies and all that stuff sort of reaffirms that for me, or tries to, in a weird way, I guess. And I think there's just so much. I don't know. There's been so many experiences that people have had of supernatural occurrences and stuff that they can't all be, a bump in the night. It's I think there has to be something else out there.
Yeah. Do you have like a rigid enough philosophy or theology of what an afterlife might look like that you feel a need to inform your movies with that? Or do you feel like you can have just a lot of fun with it as long as you're hinting towards sort of the vague concept of an afterlife?
Yeah, it's more of the latter. I don't want to sort of plan, my rules on someone else's or impose rules. So it's more of just the idea that there is something beyond, and getting to that notion, and then people can pick up the ball from there and sort of run with it. But yeah, so I don't really try to from the get-go sort of try to impose some sort of my philosophy in these types of movies or whatever. It's just the fact that there is something out there that I think is important to establish.
Does that create any difficulties or tensions, especially when you're creating something like The Nun? Because you're obviously getting involved in like church hierarchy, and that's something that means a lot to a lot of people. Are those conversations that you try to like make sure that you're having with representatives of the Catholic Church at all, or do you just bear that in mind as you're creating this and try to be respectful where you can, but also obviously create something that's entertaining and tell the story you want to tell?
Yeah, I don't, it's not like I wish I had, like a consultant like that. And I know I could have, like from the get-go, but first I'm trying to sort of just get to the story, right? Just like figure out what the story is before I get into like all the politics of the church and all that stuff. And then, from there, I know some of the scripts read by people within the Catholic Church and stuff, and they're welcome to give their feedback, and it's something I definitely want to be respectful of, as we move forward in the process. But from the very beginning, it's just me trying to figure out, okay, what's the scariest way to tell the story, and then from there, then I start to do a little bit more, research and going like, okay, well, is this correct? Is this authentic to the church and all that stuff? Is that's super important to me. I want that. The more genuine you can be, the more authentic you can be, I think the scarier it will be.
That was Gary Dauberman. Normally I would say make sure to check out his film. If you are so inclined to want to see his film, it's Annabelle Creation.
I'm
and it
sure
opens this weekend.
I'm sure it's
I want to preface because of like the backstory of these films, they're not like, these are not pure flicks, okay? These are Hollywood horror movies, and they're pretty scary. But it's interesting to kind of hear the roots of why they are making it to the big screen.
Eve just turned 6. I'll take her. Right? It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's Christian.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, stay tuned. Up next, your feedback.
The world gives us a lot of names. God gives us other names. So why do we spend so much of our lives listening to the wrong ones? Where can our true identity be found? Filled with captivating personal stories, simple retellings of complex biblical truths, and practical everyday challenges, Hosanna Poetry's debut book, I Have a New Name, is a relatable and inspiring book for anyone who wants to be free of their old names, their old hurts, and their old identity, and answer to a new purpose, a new confidence, and a new name. You can read a free chapter, watch a live video, and get your copy at IHaveANewName.com.
You're listening to Father John Misty. The song is Total Entertainment Forever, which is what this show is. Okay, it's time for your feedback. If you heard last week's show, we spent a lot of the beginning of the show talking about resumes and what makes a good resume and what makes a resume that's maybe trying too hard. Yeah. Jesse felt like the ones that I feel are trying too hard with the bells and whistles, the pictures, the glitter, the themes, the fancy fonts. Jesse's like the more the better. So we asked you for the question of the week, how would you make your resume stand out from the pack? With some creative ideas that maybe people haven't thought of yet to make resumes stand out. You guys hit us up on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. You also tweeted us at Relevant Podcast. Here are a few of our favorites.
I like JJ Carlson's idea. I would make my resume stand out by revealing it via a sleight of hand trick. What card did you pick? My resume, the ace of spades, of course. Then to take the trick even further, I remove my mask to reveal that I'm really a mirror and you've been interviewing yourself the whole time and I'm actually standing right behind you. I don't totally follow the entire trick, but I'd be impressed with the ending.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're hired, and you can name your salary requirements right now because you just blew my mind.
Jonathan just reminded us to always use Comic Sans, and at this point, we may have crossed into the irony of that. Like, if you got an all Comic Sans resume, you may not throw it away immediately because you'd be like,
if it's Comic Sans like 0.60, like 60 point, like the whole thing, and it's like 8 pages long.
Yeah,
I'm kind of down.
But if they're trying to be a designer, that's funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm down. I get it. I'm in on the joke. If they're using Comic Sans seriously, it's the saddest resume of the year.
Yeah, right. No, that's right. That's
okay. This one is from Dave. This one is quite involved as well.
Yeah.
David said that he would send them a box. I'm just picturing an employer receiving this. I would send them a box with the most random items in it, some dangerous, some fun. They would be related to me and the job in some way. Imagine an object for every line item of the resume. Then I would put in simple notes that ask, what do all of these items have in common? 1, they relate to me. 2, I can juggle them all. 3, then make them disappear. Want to see? Hire me. I like that because the only way the employer gets the payoff is to actually hire the person. And that way you're in. Because if I'm an employer, I'm like, dude, I have no idea what he's going to do with these 7 knives, a baseball, a bowling pin, and, a live frog. I got to see. So I would hire the guy immediately. He says, if you don't hear back, instead of calling back, I just up the stakes by sending another item with a note that says, what about now? Then I just keep sending notes and items until I get hired. That sounds flawless to me, David. I'm sure you've landed a couple jobs like that.
I was pretty proud of Lisa, whose last name can only be pronounced Wow.
I love Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa.
Lisa Wow?
Well, Lisa, I mean, it's KWOW.
Is it like Sham Wow?
I hope so, because her comment is wow worthy. Listen to what she did. She said, I once added, wow, look at her experience in highlighter to the top corner of my resume, as if the secretary had dog-eared my resume on the pile.
I like it. I love it.
And
It's
she,
so good.
And she says as a punchline, my employers still have that resume on file 6 years later. So it worked.
That's amazing.
Lisa, that is actually
I love it.
Really cool.
Dude, because that's what you can just make a normal resume, so you get the Camerons of the world on board, but you have a little bit of a creative twist to it to get people like Jesse on board. That's a
Well,
idea.
I'm down with that kind of a creative twist because it's about the qualifications. It's not like I'm going to, bribe you with pizza. You know what I'm saying?
It's also a bit of a lie, which, you have to admire the moxie.
But by Cameron, I can ascertain someone's qualifications by standard resume. I can look at what they've done. I can call references. I can see their education. I'm looking for an X factor. Okay, bring me the X factor. That's what I'm looking for. Someone who's got a little something extra in case things get hairy, and they will. Spencer Ray says to make his resume stand out, he would make it into a direct-to-DV film. So I guess, a movie, a fictional movie, a scripted film about his work experience and his life. Then he would hold a special screening for his soon-to-be employers. I love that idea as well. You put some investment into this independent film of yours. Who's not going to hire you? Nothing weird about it. That's for sure.
Eric Odom, who gave us a little throwback to last week, also goes by Eric's Odoms, said that he could redact almost everything in the resume. So, like, if it says like proficient speaker and killer presenter, it could just be proficient, redacted, killer, redacted. Great idea. He's probably not going to work.
If someone hands in a resume and there's big black marker redacted,
right,
and then like I see one of their previous jobs was like with the government, I'm like, dude, this person's awesome. Definitely hire them too, because I got to know. I got to know what they did.
All right. Well, there's a lot more where that came from. Go check them out on last week's podcast episode page.
It's just redacted University, Boston, Massachusetts. And you're like, wow, they must have gone to Harvard. And then you realize it was just like, it wasn't that.
It was a community college. It was unaccredited.
Right.
It was something I gave my money to a cult. It turns out it's not a good, legally, I have to redact it.
Okay, same for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
Okay, well, earlier in the show, we got talking about the hard-hitting, breaking news that CBS is just, shaking up a perfectly good, successful sitcom by killing off the wife character after a breakout first season and then bringing back Leah Remini, because that's, CBS, lowest common denominator, just give the masses what they want. They want King and Queens back.
Yeah.
So we want to know this week for the question of the week, what perfectly good show, now not terrible shows, good, successful shows, would you radically change for no real reason, and how would you do it?
Right.
Are we talking Seinfeld? we're talking Breaking Bad. I mean, like, what would you do? Yeah. When would you do it?
Right.
And how would you reboot the show to take it a totally different direction?
Right.
Okay. Can I give an example? This would literally work for any show. You introduce, as in the main primary cast, a chimpanzee, right? Okay. That's like part of the gang now.
Right.
But wait, that chimpanzee is also the world's greatest brain surgeon.
Oh, wow.
Literally, that's actually a pretty good idea.
I know. It would vastly improve any
show. So any show. And you're saying that would work on any show. So Big Bang Theory, a chimp moves in, and he's a surgeon chimp.
I'm actually surprised that already hasn't happened in Big Bang Theory, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. But I'm saying if it happened in Breaking Bad, it'd be weird. But I mean, it would, or Better Call Saul or something.
Mad Men.
Hey, I would, I would watch. I mean, why not? You got the world's greatest brain surgeon who's a chimpanzee in the show. I mean, it doesn't get any more. The intrigue doesn't heighten any better than that.
Okay, so if you want to hit us up with your ideas, go over to the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. You can post them there, or you can tweet us at Relevant Podcast.
I gotta say, you're gonna hear an edited version of the show, but this particular podcast has been. There have been some uniquely show-stopping moments. Just
like there's no way to brush over it. You just kind of just keep moving on, and probably we'll clean it up in post.
And I'm responsible for a majority of them. I just want to say it has been quite a morning.
So if a few snuck through and you're offended or aghast at any moment, just know that there was at least 11 times more than what happened. Right. We cut out so many we missed one.
Right. I was talking about the song.
I think any show would be improved. It doesn't matter the genre, drama, like action, comedy. Each one of them would be improved if one of the characters had the power of invisibility.
Easily.
Yeah, easily. I mean, it would make every show better. Yeah, I don't know why more TV shows don't have invisible characters.
That's what Seinfeld was missing.
Right.
Is Newman had the cloak of invisibility. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine the hijinks he would get into. It would probably be on for another 3 seasons. They would not have run out of funny ideas. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, hey, many thanks to this episode's sponsors for making this show possible. Remember, with HelloFresh, you can go over to HelloFresh.com and get $30 off your first week of deliveries when you enter offer code RELEVANT30 when you subscribe. And also thanks to Squarespace. Remember, you can go over to squarespace.com, and when you sign up for a year, use offer code RELEVANT, get 10% off. Also, thanks to this show's guests, Jesus Culture's new album, Love Has a Name. What is it, Eddie?
Billy.
Billy. I thought it was Francisco. Okay.
That's a fun name to say.
Love Has a Name. It's out now, today. You can follow them on Twitter at Jesus Culture, and the album is available everywhere. Thanks also to Gary Dauberman. Remember his movie, Annabelle, Creation is out today. Yeah, you can use offer code RELEVANT30 to get a free ticket when you go to flickster.com.
And Love Has a Name. Ted DiBiase. Right under our nose the whole time.
It was right there all along. We knew it.
Kind of beautiful.
Not Gary Hart, not the Hart brothers.
No.
Ted, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase was
Ted DiBiase.
Love's name. Okay.
Great guy. Soft inside.
He's on the cover. If you're wondering why Ted DiBiase is on the cover of the Jesus Culture album, because biblical scholars have unleashed the code.
I don't know, man. That's the prosperity gospel. I thought it'd be like the ultimate warrior, like a fierce, loving God.
That's interesting.
I mean, I'm more on the health and wealth train, and me and DiBiase.
If you like the show, head over to iTunes and leave a review. It helps other people discover the show, and we appreciate the feedback. But only if you like the show. We don't want other feedback there. Hey, and while you're online, head over to relevantmagazine.com and get the magazine. You can subscribe today. There's a special offer going on. And then actually, I think right now, if you subscribe, you will get in time to get our next issue, which Jesse says is our best ever, and you won't want to miss it. So,
oh yeah, it's absolutely true. And if you disagree with me, please unsubscribe, because this issue is awesome.
On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Eddie Koffoltz.
I'm Chandler Strang.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
I'm Jesse Carey.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
I was like, I'm jumping on the back of that train of girls.